running route going to play on the right, being on the left.
Play just about ready to get underway here. William and Mary in the white jerseys will be to our right. Loyola in the gray jerseys will be to our left. Our referees for today's game are, referee will be Bob Vanderwalker, and on our near line here will be Tim Vanderwalker, and on the far side, Nino Altamati.
Well, that was interesting there, Tom. A really sloppy back pass by the Loyola defence and let Darcy in. There was a little bit of pulling and pushing by both Darcy and the defender, but the referee let him get on with it. That could have been a great start for William and Mary.
John, bring us up to date so far this season on both these teams.
Sure. Loyola are 2-0 at the moment, with wins against Campbell University 2-0 and against Brooklyn College 3-2. Certainly the Brooklyn College win was a good one. Al actually went to see that game and was very impressed with Loyola. Brooklyn College have got a lot of talented players. They're very similar to Howard in a lot of ways. William and Mary are... their first game was a loss to UConn in a very, very tough game. They lost in overtime 2-0. Second game they rebounded to beat Mary Washington 5-1. I think right there, Tom, is probably an indication of how this game is going to be. It's going to be a very, very hard-fought game, hard tackles all around. Both teams like to play the game physically, especially Loyola.
And we do have a foul there early on against Loyola. William Mary will have the free kick, and Summers Hambrick will be taking it. William Mary known for being strong on their set pieces. There's a header in the box.
I think obviously right from the start there was a tackle by Darcy, and about a minute ago a tackle by Bruce Ensley that were on the verge, could be construed as being fair tackles, but I think Bob Vanderwalker is obviously going to set his stamp on this game, and he's called both of them as fouls.
That's Marty Taylor for William Mary, pushing it out to Timmy Larkin on the far side. And again, another foul. As you've mentioned, Vanderwalker getting right on top of this game early on.
I'm not sure. That might be a throw-in.
Looks like a throw-in, yeah.
They do have a long throw. They have a flipped throw and a very powerful long throw, so this one's just a straightforward, powerful one. Ricky DeHaan winning that ball in the air, a real strength of his. Bad communication there at the back. Steve Kukulis was in a good position to deal with that ball, and Ian came for it, and really he shouldn't have, and Steve kept his cool and just knocked it away anyway. I don't think I'd like to have Ian Peter come landing on top of me.
I don't think I would either. And Loyola will have the throw-in. That's number 20, Jeff Nathans. One of the two big backs for Loyola. And a dangerous throw in the box there. Referee signals for a corner kick.
Obviously looking for a short... Scott Bell has come out early with Summers to watch for a short corner. That's probably Al scouting there. If they look to do it, we're ready for them.
Plays to the far post. Some scrambling in the back, and Loyola comes out with it in the corner. A dangerous cross there. Good pressure put on there by Loyola up front. William Mary having some trouble clearing that ball.
I think Ian did really well to take that under pressure there. You know, he kept his eye on the ball and took it really cleanly. There was a player coming in hard, which is often a distraction for goalkeepers, but he concentrated and took it well.
Ian Peter, who won out the starting position for goalkeeper this year, had a very strong game against UConn. And he'll need to have a strong one today.
Just a point there, Tom, on that ball that Steve Kukulis played into Ricky. I know Ricky's going to be a marked man this season, and if you play that kind of ball in that doesn't get in there crisply, it's going to be tough, and you're going to get defenders coming in and whacking him, and that's what happened there. But again, Van der Walker showing that he's not going to take too much tough stuff.
Scott Bell challenging there. William Mary will have a throw-in. Coming over to take it is Ronnie Rabb, who's playing in for John Tuttle, who's suffering from a viral infection. John, are we going to see him later today?
Maybe. I think he's a little bit better than he was. Ronnie Rabb has got a decent throw himself. This could cause problems. And it did.
A little bit of miscommunication there in the back. Loyola brings it out on the counterattack.
Loyola suffering from the narrowness of Carey Field there. That could have been a dangerous break if that ball had been better. It's apparent there how quickly Loyola attacked the ball. I know those balls are being played into William and Mary target men. Loyola defenders coming in very, very quickly, and that's the kind of style of play they use. They won't allow you to settle on balls and turn and do what you want. They're going to pressurize at every opportunity.
And a similar style to William and Mary, too, I think.
Right.
Again, Ronnie Rabb with a throw-in.
It's Darcy Curran in on the near post. I think Ricky could look to be a target. He's been guarded very closely, but he could be a target.
He is. That's Ricky DeHaan challenging in the box with some good effort, though.
I think the keeper pretty angry with himself there, and rightly so. When you put a ball in that close, you've got to expect your keeper to come and get it, and he didn't, and was a little bit lucky to get away with a goal being scored. His first substitution, Steve Sapinski, has come in.
Sapinski, a freshman from Northern Virginia area, played at Lake Braddock High School. And Loyola again on a quick counterattack.
Well, Steve Sapinski getting a first good touch and covering that dangerous space there and getting his clearance in.
Loyola again winning the ball.
Great tackle by Steve Kukulis.
Loyola again challenging, though, and he'll take a shot from out there. Ian Peter doing a good job of wrapping that one up. Steve Kukulis, the William Mary sweeper back, is only a freshman and shows quite a bit of poise.
I think Steve is going to be one of the greatest sweepers we've had. He has tremendous composure. For a very quiet lad, he's got a real bite in his tackle, as showed with that one good tackle there. So far, Loyola really winning the midfield battle. You know, there's a lot of banging going on in there, but they look to be just winning out on most of the 50-50 balls. William and Mary are going to have to step that up. That's a great throw from Ian Peter.
Marty Taylor wide open in the middle there. Plays out to Sapinski, and he plays a nice ball into Scott Bell's feet, and he's pulled down from behind. And Van der Walker have a few words for him on that one. That's number 9, Joe Barger for Loyola College, committing the foul there.
That's one of those fouls that players often know they're going to get away with. If you do it early, you know, that could have been a really harmful tackle. I've seen referees card for that kind of tackle early in the game.
A dangerous ball in the box.
I think Al is going to pick up on that with the goalkeeper. That's 3 times he's come for the ball, and he hasn't really taken it cleanly. And I'd certainly look for William and Mary to capitalise on that and keep putting him under pressure with these free kicks.
It's goalkeeper Bill Wilson is the Loyola goalie. Some dangerous stuff here for Loyola. Oh, some nice moves at the top of the box and a good shot, but over the bar.
Interesting there, Tom. Summers was caught with that player getting in on the blind side of him. He really needed to be a couple of yards further back towards his own goal where he could see that player and what he was doing and the ball, and he might have made the interception once the ball got to him. The fella showed a good composure and trying to wrong foot Summers and get the shot off.
That was number 6, Joe Koziel. He is one of the dangerous players for Loyola. Again, challenging in the midfield, and Loyola, again, winning battles in the midfield. And that's a foul called against Sapinski, and Loyola will have the free kick.
I don't know if Doug Anakin got hurt, but he's the player that Steve has replaced.
I see trainer Chuck Voiles over there looking over at Doug to keep an eye on that. That's Timmy Larkin with the ball.
Timmy did really well there. There's
nice
a good example of another whack on the back of Scott Bell's legs.
Timmy Larkin doing a good job there with the ball.
That's
Summers
a nice
handbrake.
try from Summers to maybe a little bit of obstruction there, but he got away with it.
They definitely seemed to be playing quite physically on Scott Bell early on.
Yeah.
Marty Taylor getting by the man. Plays into Scott Bell's feet. And again taken down from behind.
I would look to see if Bob Vander Walker is going to carry on as the way he started. I would look to see him get a card out. I think there have been 2 or 3 little cheap attempts now that have got to be punished, and he's kind of set a pattern, but now that it seems as though he stamped his authority, he looks to be letting it go.
Number 20, Jeff Natons, is one of the big defenders for Loyola playing against Scott Bell. And he has committed 3 fouls on him already. Loyola bringing it out of their own end. Loyola keeping possession here. On a good slide tackle there by Darcy Curran.
Well, it certainly is warfare out there at the moment.
Appears Loyola's doing a good job of building an attack from the midfield.
That was well played by Steve Sapinski, timed that run well. Just caught Ricky DeHaan off balance with the ball.
Timmy Larkin there challenging.
And again, Scott Bell dumped. He has to do something about this. Those are the kind of balls that, to me, you can win or you stay off. You can get the ball and you can make sure you deliver a whack at the same time. And that looked to be what the defender was doing then.
Coach Albert up seemed a little irritated about that. I think he would like to see a card, maybe. Summers handbrake with the kick. Ricky DeHaan heading on to Ronnie Rabb. Oh, couldn't quite get around on that one.
Defender just got his foot to that before Ronnie could make contact. Again, Ricky DeHaan, despite the size of the players at the back for Loyola, Ricky is such an excellent jumper. His timing is so good that he's causing them problems. Here's a substitution now, Tom. John Tuttle's coming in for Ronnie Rabb.
Hey, for William and Mary, number 10, John Tuttle.
Scott Bell will take the kick. He plays far post. That's number 20, Bruce Ensley with the ball. Plays a nice ball in there, but cleared away by Loyola. That's Ian Peter with the ball.
Interesting there, the speed that Joe Koziel showed going after that ball. He has very, very good speed. That's another of those balls that really are falling into Loyola's hands. I think back 4 players from William & Mary have got to get the ball quicker into their target men because they're going to get taken down and get pressurized by Loyola defenders if the ball doesn't get in there quicker.
Loyola on an attack. On a shot, it's way over the bar. Loyola running with attack, bringing up quite a few midfielders. Appears maybe that William Mary is having a difficult time tracking.
I think it's this quickness that we mentioned, that Loyola have a pretty good team speed, and that makes tracking that much more difficult. They're certainly coming forward fast.
Seems like they're bringing quite a few players forward. Again, Loyola winning in the air. It's Darcy Curran challenging on our near side.
It's a great touch by Ricky DeHaan there, but unfortunately didn't find a man with it.
Sam Mangione playing in there for Loyola.
Well, I thought Sapinski got a little bit of a knock in the back there on that ball, but the referee says no.
And we'll have a throw in here for Loyola. Again, that's Jeff Natons. We'll take it. And he does have a dangerous throw. Referee signals him to move back a bit.
Now, John Tuttle standing in front of the throw here. John can stand in front, but he should not be allowed to jump in front of the throw. Standing where he is, though, that's really putting no pressure on it at all. There's a man open at the back. There's danger from those throws. That flick on there found a man open on the far post, and the better header might well have brought a goal.
That was Joe Koziel who had the header there. And William Mary will build from the back.
And again, that ball being delivered too slowly, and their
too easy to anticipate
defenders
that
coming
pass.
in. John Tuttle did really well tracking back there, adding the pressure.
Substitutions coming on for Loyola. Number 13, Dave Garrity, goes off the field. And number 3, George Wacob comes on for Loyola. He plays in the back.
There's a short corner. Man spare at the far post. That was nice play there, but Timmy Larkin really concentrated and stayed in tight, wasn't beaten by it. I think we're just about 17.5 minutes into the game, Tom, and it certainly is what we expected, a real tough physical game between these two teams.
Both teams having a couple of opportunities. That's Sam Mangione with the ball for Loyola, and Scott Bell takes that one out of bounds. We'll keep an eye on Scott Bell today. He needs one more goal to become William Mary's all-time scoring leader. I'm sure the only thing on his mind, though, right now is winning this game, though.
Danger.
And William Mary comes out with it.
They really are, Loyola really are winning the midfield battle still. That was great play by Darcy.
Good play there,
Curran.
yes.
William and Mary are going to need that. They're going to need Bruce Ensley, Darcy and Ricky and Timmy Larkin to start going to ground, to start really putting the tackles in, because right now the balls, the 50-50 balls in there are invariably falling to Loyola. That's great play by Scott Bell.
That's that Scott Bell and John Tuttle combination that's working well this season already.
An interesting, two interesting substitutions here now, Tom. Bo Eske's coming in for Timmy Larkin by the looks of it, and Donny DeShire are both stronger, bigger, physical players, and I would look to see both of them beginning to stamp their authority in the middle of the field.
Ian Peter will switch sides of the field here. Coolest with time to play.
Tuck could get on that. Nearly did.
That was number 3, George Wacob, who just came into the game, was taken down there. And Loyola will have a free kick.
William and Mary going with pretty much 4-4-2 right now, with Ricky playing just behind John Tuttle and Scott Bell. I think Al recognising that this midfield battle is one that has to be won if William and Mary have a chance of winning this game. That's well played by Scott.
That was a good slide tackle there by Scott Bell. That's Koziel, Stan Koziel with the ball. Dangerous player in the box. And Donnie DeShira clears that one away for William and Mary, and Loyola will have another throw-in on the far side.
I know Al won't be happy at the moment with the panic that's being caused in our back four and midfield by the speed of the Loyola team. But we've certainly got to show more composure and look to our more experienced players to find themselves a bit of time and beat men and slow things down.
Stan Koziel there showing that he's going to be a dangerous player today. Brought that one right into the box. That's Bruce Ensley clearing away. And Ian Peter wraps that one up.
Still looking to play the ball forward. I think so far, though, we're not getting it really out of the midfield very well. See, the marking is so tight when we do play the ball forward. I think Al's probably thinking in terms of trying to play it out because of the size of the two centre-backs. But maybe an alternative now to look for Ian to punt it and step up the pressure in the midfield area and try and win balls that are knocked down. Maybe not win the first touch, but win the second touch.
And perhaps that's why we saw Donnie DeShira and Bo Eske coming in to win some of those balls in the air.
Right. It's interesting there, the first person who's really looked to slow things down as a freshman, Steve Sapinski, just put his foot on that ball and said, hey, hang on, let's try and slow it down a little bit. One again in midfield.
That's Summers Hamburg with the ball. Koziel plays across field. And Sapinski bringing it out of his own end.
That's a little bit better, a little bit slower build up there.
Wayne Mary still needs to be a bit more crisp, though, on those short passes they're playing into the Scott Bell and John Tuttle's feet. Loyola clearing that ball off the sideline, and Wayne Mary will have a throw-in. Donnie DeShira will take it. Referee signaling for him to take that one over again, moving him back. Donnie trying to cheat up a little bit along the sideline. Loyola winning it in the back. Referee calling a foul on John Tuttle there for a late trip, perhaps.
As a forward in most of my playing days, I find that kind of difficult to take. A lot of forwards get kicked to bits throughout the game, and then they put an innocuous little thing like that in, and the referee pulls them up. But we've seen what Scott Bell's had to take so far, and what Tuttle we know is going to have to take for the rest of the game. That's interesting. Donnie's been in the game about 3 or 4 minutes, and so far Vander Walker has pulled him twice for tackles, for fouls.
Kula's bringing it out, plays over to Bruce Ensley. Plays a nice ball there over to Bo Eske.
See the pressure they're putting on, but we're playing well here now. If we can get this one out of here.
Good quick touches here.
That was a good try by Donny DeShira. First time ball in there, in that far post area around about the edge of the box. We had a couple of players going in. If the ball was served just a little bit longer, could have created a nice opportunity.
That was one of the best built attacks for William & Mary I think we've seen so far. That ball out of bounds, and DeShira will take the throw. Uses Kukulis. A nice flick there. Ricky DeHaan known for that style of play with some quick flicks off his feet.
Well, that was interesting there. Bob felt, okay, I penalised you for doing that a couple of minutes ago. Now one of the opposition's done it to you. All right, I'll give you the free kick.
William & Mary setting up for a set play here.
So much depends on the service here now. This is the kind of area, it's just outside shooting distance. It needs a good serve, and Scott's going to do it. Ricky DeHaan.
That was a good ball played in there. And William & Mary will have a throw-in on the far side. But Loyola clears away.
A good example there of Steve Kukulis being under pressure there, player coming in, and just as Ian did earlier on, he knew he was under pressure, but kept his eye on the ball and followed through and did what he had to do.
Sam Mangione, the Loyola player, doing a good job in the midfield today so far.
Dangerous kick there against Loyola.
Good challenge there by Kukulis.
That was good to see there. That player, as he ran past Steve Kukulis there, they just quickly shaked hands. That's good to see.
Bo Eske at the ball. Just losing that one, though. And Scott Bell plays it to DeShira.
That's a nice turn by Tuttle. Maybe a bit fortunate there to get a free kick. It was a nice turn, but I thought the defender just happened to be in the right place, and I didn't see too much of a foul.
Scott Bell, the quick kick. Oh, and some great stuff there. Great header by Ricky DeHaan. Back to Bo Eske, who just put it over the post.
That's the kind of situation, I think, Tom, that's going to catch teams by surprise, because that ball looked to be too high from Ricky, but he is such an excellent jumper that I know defenders will look and say, oh, well, that one's gone, and then he'll just sky up there and knock it back in. That was a great try.
Scott Bell did a good job there of capitalizing on a quick kick. Saw that Loyola perhaps was a bit out of position.
Doug Anakin's come back in now for Steve Sapinski.
Mangione will take the throw-in. Now he gives it up to Joe Barger. And Jeff Nathan's one of the big Loyola backs. Appears to take all the throws from this side. And Ian Peter takes that one. Again, still choosing to throw it out.
That was a little bit better. Scott had that extra yard then when that ball came in from Guido.
And Guido did a good job there playing that ball early. Before Scott Bell even got there, he played it. Doug Anakin, commonly known as Guido on the team. It's a good cross-field ball there. Player had a lot of room.
Yeah.
Again, Peter electing the throw out.
Nice little back heel there from Ricky DeHaan.
Ricky DeHaan, extremely skillful player. In that kind of traffic to be able to back heel that ball.
Interesting there, as that ball was attack was building up, Loyola have two spare players at the back. Oh, now they've shifted across there, but when that ball was coming down the right-hand side, they had the sweeper and the number 5 there, Stan Lambros, was just filling in there as a spare player also.
Again, Scott Bell pushed from behind.
I really would look for this one now, Tom, bearing in mind what we felt in the first few minutes. I would look for someone to put a ball in there and get the keeper off his line and have him contend with this.
But Loyola winning that ball. And again, a quick counterattack over to Sam Mangione. Oh, plays a dangerous ball in there. Ian Peter out of position. But William Mary retains control there.
Sorry, son, that really was a bad decision by Ian, and then it was a kind of a lackadaisical approach after he made it. I think he was fortunate that Boesque was tracking back there hard and was able to knock the ball away. Otherwise, Loyola 4 just had to nod the ball into an empty net.
Boesque doing quite a bit of running. We've seen him up front and in the back.
That's a great turn by Scott Bell, but he's still not shaking the defender off, and they're getting players in around him. I think William and Mary got to, in those situations, if Tuttle and Bell get so double team, we've got to start thinking about switching the ball quickly and finding the open man. That's a bad tackle.
Foul there on number 9, Joe Barger. Just took Tuttle's feet out right from under him.
Joe's left a couple of bruises on the backs of some legs already. He was when he hit Scott Bell with a pretty late tackle early on.
And Scott will take the kick. Might be looking far post here to Bruce Ensley. There's Ricky DeHaan. Great header, that's a goal for William and Mary. Ricky DeHaan with a great header. Right over the goalkeeper's head, caught him out of position.
Well, that really was a classic header from Ricky. He really skied there. I find it difficult to understand why a goalkeeper the size of the Loyola goalkeeper could get beaten over his head, but I think it may have been disbelief at seeing Ricky get so high. That will take the pressure off William and Mary. They've been creeping back into it a little bit more. I think Al has made some good substitutions, and he's really gone to his strengths right now. Bo has been a real factor in the game, and you know, Donny's been stepping up the aggression level.
For those of you just joining us, 11:52 remaining in the first half. William Mary has just scored to go up 1-0 on a goal from freshman Ricky DeHaan. In fact, I saw that ball being served into him, and I didn't think there's any way he was going to get a head on that. I think that's probably what the goalkeeper thought too.
Another substitution. Timmy's come back in, and Darcy's back over on the left of midfield. Timmy Larkin and Ricky in the middle, and Ronnie Rabb's back up front.
Putting in some fresh legs for the end of the second half.
We have about 10 minutes to go
half.
to 10 minutes to go to half time, Tom.
Ricky DeHaan with a great shot. There's Ronnie Rabb and a goal.
That is great. That was a tremendous volley by Ricky, and the ball popped out, and Ronnie Rabb showed against Mary Washington that he has the ability to snap up the half chances, and he was there. The ball fell for him, but that was the kind of ball, I can't commend Ronnie enough on that. There was no power on that ball when it came to him, and it took a real crack of his head to get enough power and to put it in the far corner, and he took it really well.
Ronnie Rabb, that is being his 3rd goal of the season.
Certainly has been a turnaround. If you'd asked me 10 minutes ago how you thought the scoring was going to go, I would have said that Loyola looked more likely to score. They had their moments. That good save by Boesque really looks significant now.
Something there I think that Coach Howard's been looking for. Maybe John Tuttle and Scott Bell have proven they can score goals, and maybe Ronnie Rabb now will be a 3rd scorer.
Ronnie is that kind of player. Now Summers is letting that winger get in behind him again, and he's scored.
And there's a goal for Loyola. Summers Hamburg letting the player get in behind him there.
Summers really, you know, he has the quickness and he has the ability. I think that must have been a lapse of concentration. He did it earlier, and I remember mentioning it then. And that time, Loyola were able to cash in on it. They have quick forwards, and you know, our defenders are going to have to be sure that they're concentrating all the time and don't let that happen again.
So perhaps Loyola now with a bit of momentum, getting a goal there, that really helped them. Substitution on for William & Mary.
I think Al's probably decided he needs to talk to Summers about that. He's brought Steve Sapinski in. Well, it's all happening now. That's 3 goals in the space of about 5 minutes. That's a good tackle by Marty Taylor.
Things are really heated right now.
Yeah.
Loyola trying to tie it up before the half. Steve Sapinski for William & Mary will have the throw-in on the far side. And he'll take another one.
Right now, Steve hasn't got too many targets. Scott did well there.
And Darcy Kern with the ball. Sam Mangione doing a good job of defending there. Referee calling a foul there.
Good pressure by
tackle there.
Darcy. That's a good call by the referee. The forward definitely pushed Guido, and all credit to Guido. He took the push and he stayed on his feet and held that challenge off. And then Loyola, hopefully, were appealing for a handball against him. That was adding insult to injury. They fouled him and then they wanted a handball as well.
Marty Taylor and Ian Peter. Plays up to Doug Anakin.
That was a bit unfortunate from Loyola's point of view. I thought the 13 there, Dave Garrity worked really hard at getting back and pressurising. I didn't think he fouled at all there.
Dave Garrity doing quite a bit of running here, putting a lot of pressure on.
Guido's got to be quicker.
And another foul called on.
Guido's got it. Now that fella has shown that he will contest those balls, so I think Guido's going to have to quicken up there and just make his decisions a little bit sharper.
Sapinski with the ball on the far side. Trying to play into Darcy Curran there. He was heavily marked. I think Loyola's done a great job in this first half of tracking the William & Mary players, especially in the midfield.
It'll be interesting to see. They are working hard at that, and it'll be interesting to see how the fitness aspect affects things in the second half. I know Al felt after the Connecticut game that it was fitness that really told in overtime then. That's the first time I think the keeper has come off his line and been really assertive. That was a bad mistake by Guido there.
That's Dave Garrity with the ball for Loyola.
He's
been working hard here. Plays into the box.
That was a great tackle by Sapinski there. That was a foul by Darcy, and an unnecessary foul.
And Vander Walker will have a word with Darcy Curran, as he committed a blatant foul there.
I think Darcy was a bit lucky that not to get a card on that one. Just from a tactical point of view, with a player going to the line, especially on Carey Field, he's about a yard from the line, the ball's going out of play. All you need to do is put pressure on him, and he's probably going to knock it out of play anyway, but as a result now, they get a free kick for it.
That's Stan Koziel taking the kick. Doug Anakin with a nice header there.
They're pretty square at the back there.
Some dangerous stuff there.
There's a well-timed run through by the big fella there, number 11, Chris Webber.
Loyola's putting on quite a bit of pressure here. With 6:20 remaining in the first half. Wayne Mary up 2-1. We had a flurry of goals there in about a 10-minute span.
Ricky DeHaan winning that one well.
Darcy Curran defending there.
That's great play.
Loyola getting
Still
quite a
not
few
away.
men in the box. Referee calling a push against Loyola. Waymary had some trouble there getting that ball cleared away, and Loyola had quite a bit of pressure there.
We have about 3 minutes to half-time, Tom, and it'll be really interesting to see what changes Al makes in the second half, if any. I know he'll have been chewing things over and trying to figure out the best combination here. It's not necessarily your 11 best players, but dealing with the problems that Loyola pose, and that's a great touch from Scott Bell. There's Ricky with a bit of space. He hasn't really gotten in that kind of space. That's what I was looking for. He hasn't really got into those kind of spaces where he can show a little bit of a quick turn a la Scott Bell, but he did it there. Ronnie tussling hard for the ball.
And he earns a corner kick out of it.
I thought it looked from here as it went off Ronnie, but I'll settle for corner.
Again, Scott Bell will take it. Substitution on for Loyola. Dave Garrity goes off.
And again, the keeper with a bad contact.
Oh, that was a great shot there by Ronnie Rabb, and it just went off the Loyola defender. That was heading for the upper left post.
Ronnie has been very sharp. You know, that's a good example there. To that first touch, keeping the ball close, exactly where you want it to get your shot up, and he's been very, very sharp since he came back. I saw him play during the summer. He had a very good summer, and his confidence is high, which is great.
I think Ronnie could be a dangerous player too, because he's sort of an unknown around the league, perhaps. Everybody knows about Scott Bell and John Tuttle, and it'd be great to see Ronnie Rabb score some goals this year.
Yeah, it would be, because you know, he is a good player. He needs to believe in himself, and I think these goals that he's grabbed recently will help him along those lines. That's a great ball from Marty Taylor. Let's put Scott Bell in round the back.
Scott Bell with some hard play there, and he gets a throw-in out of it. That was number 9, Joe Barger, a very aggressive player for Loyola in the back.
Very close to half-time now. I hope we can get this throw in and maybe create a scoring opportunity.
Not just out of Scott Bell's reach, and Loyola will have a goal kick. John Karpovich for Loyola takes most of the kicks.
Okay, 17, run.
The booming kick up front.
That's interesting there. The linesman was flagging for a handball, but the referee overruled him.
And so Wayne Mary takes a throw-in on the far side. That's Scott Bell with the ball.
Obstruction, indirect free kick for William and Mary.
Tell you, Scott's going to have some bruised legs tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Steve Sapinski will take this kick. A dangerous ball in the box there.
Steve's still hanging on to the ball, resisting the challenge there, and being pulled back and winning another free kick.
Linesman's doing a good job over on that side, keeping on top of those fouls.
This is one thing that Al and I used to talk about a lot, about the with the free kicks being so dangerous in the attacking third, that you want to talk to your defenders and don't give away silly free kicks. It increases the chances of opposition scoring.
That just off the defender's head there. That'll be a throw-in.
Ronnie's last throw was a disappointment. Let's see what we can do with this one.
Loyola clears away, but he'll have another throw-in.
I think what Ronnie should look to throw the balls in a bit higher here, because those line drive balls, they've got a couple of really big fellas there, unless Ricky's the target.
That's a good flick by Scott Bell there.
Nearly got his head on that.
Marty Taylor for William Mary with the ball. Plays a quick one back in.
He's onside.
Ricky Dahan with a goal.
Ricky Dahan with his second goal. That was superb. He really he spotted everything. He took his time. The ball was knocked in by Guido, and Ricky saw the keeper coming and very calmly just lifted it over his head.
I think that might have been Marty Taylor that played that in, and that was some good heads-up play to see him open there.
Was it Marty who knocked the
I think it
cross
was.
in there?
Might have been. I think it was Marty.
Whoever. It was a great cross, and I know Loyola have been showing their unhappiness with that and moaning at Vanderwalk about it, but from where we are seated here, you could clearly see that that last defender in about the right back position played everyone on.
That's quite an advantage for Wayne Mary to go in leading with 2 goals rather than just 1 goal.
Yeah, just shows the pressure towards the end there, and I think Darcy really showing now that, hey, come on, we want even more. A great half.
That's the end of our first half. William and Mary winning 3-1 in a very physical battle. Both teams playing a strong game, but William and Mary having the better edge of things.
Well, I think that William and Mary will be looking to try and consolidate. I think they'll probably feel that they don't deserve to be 3-1 up, and they need to get an early goal to really cement things. Try and get the ball forward a bit quicker to the midfield, to the front players, or try and get the balls over the top into the space behind the defenders. I think Loyola will be saying, hey, there's no way we should be 3-1 down. We've pretty much had most of the game. Now come on, let's get out there and grab a quick goal and see if we can make more of a competitive match of this.
William Mary, I think, needs to work on being a bit stronger in the second half. They had weaker second halves against UConn and Mary Washington. And a referee a yellow card there against Loyola for tugging on the jersey, I think.
Well, that fella's been giving Scott a bit of attention all through the game, and he got away with a lot in the first half, and I think that one was a little bit too blatant. Scott had really turned him inside out, and he just grabbed at him, so Vander Walker's decided enough's enough.
That was Jeff Natons, number 20, the defender for Loyola, who got that yellow card. Steve Sapinski plays along the ground to Scott Bell. That's one of Wayne Mary's set plays.
Ball served in a little bit too close to the line there for Scott to really be able to turn on it and go at the defender.
Good tackle there by Steve Sapinski. Ronnie Rabb with a nice touch. Ricky playing a quick ball there. Scott Bell the header. Not quite enough on it though.
That was a great ball from Ricky. He has that ability to be going at speed in one direction and everything looks to be happening in front of him, but he's already aware of what's going on behind him, and he clipped a great ball into Scott there.
Timmy Larkin challenging there and winning in the midfield. Plays it right through the player's legs on that one.
Now that looked to me like a cheap foul after the ball had gone there.
Yeah. And indeed, Vander Walker calls the foul. Again, he's asserting himself again here in the second half.
But he's giving it the
he
other
called
way.
it on William and Mary.
Wow,
Well,
that's interesting.
I guess he's just going to go with the throw-in. Not sure what that was.
That was strange, that's what that was. Already, you know, the game, we're less than 3 minutes in the second half, and I've seen Timmy win a ball in midfield and Darcy go steaming in there. I think the attitude from William and Mary now is, hey, we weren't winning the balls in the first half, and, you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't, so let's go in there and start winning these balls.
Loyola will have a throw-in on the far side.
No real changes for William and Mary at half-time. Steve Sapinski has switched to left back, and Doug Anakin has come across to right back. That's interesting because you have two left-footed players at the outside back positions. Guido did
Good
really well
defending
there,
yeah.
just let the player go for it and knock it out for a goal kick.
Smart play there. I think Loyola needs to get a goal if they want to get into this game, because being 2 goals down for a long time in a half starts to frustrate you a bit.
Yeah, as I say, Tom, you know, I'm sure they feel that they shouldn't be 3-1 down. They're probably questioning that third goal, but we could clearly see that it was a legal goal.
Loyola winning in the air on that one.
That was good covering by Steve Sapinski. Marty Taylor's challenge made the defender, made the Loyola player change the angle a little bit more than he would have liked to, and that enabled Steve to get in the right position to knock it back. Notice now Guido there, with playing the ball out of the back there. He wants to play it with his left foot, but he was completely in a bad position to do so.
That's Sam Mangione for Loyola with the ball. Good defending. Three Wayne Mary defenders over there. Marty Taylor with a good slide tackle. And he got a throw-in out of it as well. Steve Sapinski with a throw there. He reminds me a lot of Glenn Livingston, I think, in the back, in certain ways.
I think a lot of people are already calling him Little Rock, and it has nothing to do with the Little Rock town, because he's a Nova boy. But he certainly is very like Rock in appearance and stride. Tends to have that physical approach to the game that Rock was known for as well. He's a very, really impressive, both Steve Koukoulas and Steve Sapinski, apart from sharing the same Christian names, they both share real composure in the game, which is tremendous to see, and players so young.
I'm quite impressed with these freshmen coming in and taking over like they are here.
Yeah, Al had a very, very good recruiting year. It's terrific. That was a nice touch by Bruce Ensley and Scott Bell. Ricky
There's
playing
Timmy on a nice run. Oh, it's just... Bruce Ensley with a shot there, and I don't think went off anybody, so that would be a goal kick for Loyola.
Summers Hambrick coming back in right back for William and Mary. Al doesn't usually make the kind of decision he did there. You know, I think Guido is a very good player, but I really think under pressure in that right back slot that he could be caught out. Summers was probably feeling down on himself for that first goal, for that the Loyola goal. But you know, we know he is a very good player. He's got great quickness. He's aggressive. He may have been at fault there, but he can make up for it. He's a good enough player to do so.
This will be a good opportunity for him to come in and redeem himself and get some confidence back. He'll be marking number 11, Chris Wabert, in the back there. Darcy Kern doing a good job here in the second half of winning some balls in the midfield.
Really appears to me now there is a lot simmering below the surface. Darcy and number 10 have been having a little bit of a dig at each other. And I think that one card that Van der Walker gave out, he may need to put his hand in his pocket again before long.
Jeff Nathan for Loyola getting set to kick here.
Timmy needs someone down the line for him. Scott's going in there. And a good challenge by Scott Bell.
And he gets a throw in out of it. And Timmy will take the throw. Plays into Scott Bell's feet. This is one of the things Scott Bell does best, the man on his back. What a foul there.
I think Timmy had run into an offside position.
Okay.
Mr. Van der Walker has just confirmed what I thought. Thank you, Bob.
Karpovich set to kick.
Steve,
good
very,
stuff
very
by
quick.
Steve Sapinski there. Scott Bell playing a bit more pressure here in the second half.
Another good job by Sapinski getting in there, and Timmy playing well to get out of a tight situation. There.
Oh, there's that move.
See that a few seconds away, did well, and a great cross.
Oh. Goalkeeper made a good save there, but too bad he couldn't hold on to it. That was a good crosser from Scott Bell, heading right for Ronnie Rabb.
Well, Summers got both arms around the Loyola forward's feet there.
A little scuffle there between Summers Hamburg and the Loyola player. I'm not sure who that is. Looks like Dave Garrity.
I'm not sure who he's given it, whether he's given both cards on this or not. He was a long way away from that incident.
Yes, he was. Not sure if he gave a card there or not.
He did, but I'm not sure. He hasn't gone over the scorer's table. I'm not sure if he carded both of them or just one. They're probably good cards at this point, though, because things are beginning to deteriorate again. 13 just got a little knock on Steve Sapinski's ankle then. Ian, very careless there. He should have been much more assertive on that ball.
Dave Garrity causing some problems for Wayne Murray in the back. Some sloppy play. Not sure what he called there, John.
He called obstruction on Steve Sapinski, I think. Both Ian and Steve really just put the defence in a lot of trouble there with an unnecessary sloppy play. I'm sure Al will be pretty angry about that.
Okay, Loyola with a free kick inside William Mary's box. After some sloppy play in the back by William and Mary. Dangerous situation here. And so William and Mary will have a goal kick.
Here's John Tuttle coming back in for Ronnie Rabb up front for William and Mary, so look for them to go back to Ricky pushing forward a little bit down the middle, Scott on the right and John Tuttle on the left. Well, Thomas Slusarich got up really well then, but the header wasn't very accurate.
Loyola doing some good ball possession here. And Sapinski was beat there.
What a great tackle. What
Steve,
a
the coolest
great tackle. He has that
Great work.
ability to head on. He tackles as hard as any player I've seen for an awful long time. Well, not for an awful long time, for a very long time.
It's funny when you look at the Wayne Mary squad, there are a lot of small players, but at the same time, probably some of the strongest tacklers they've had here in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Peter wraps that one up on a dangerous throw from Loyola. And he'll punt it away. Loyola winning in the air there.
Bruce Ensley is having a little bit more of a say in what's going on in there. That's good play by Timmy.
Timmy likes to show his speed on the side.
He's got Ricky open. Deflection, Scott may dummy that.
Oh, what a great shot, but that was a nice
Bruce
save as
Ensley,
well.
good save, yeah. Carryitis coming to help William and Mary again.
Ricky DeHaan with the ball. Plays over to Timmy Larkin. That's good defending. Timmy tried to take that player on. Joe Kozia with the ball. Some scuffling going on over there. And Vander Walker reaches for his cards again. Gives one there to Darcy Curran. And I believe the other player too, yeah.
Well, Al has had his moments with Bob in the past, as indeed have I. He once gave me a card in a state cup final of all things. Bob tends to like to be the star of the show at times, which I think is to his failing because he is a good referee.
Ricky DeHaan, he's got some space and he'll use it.
That's a great
Nice ball there to Bruce Ensley on the far side.
Early ball to Scott Bell on the far post.
Just off his foot and over the end line, and Loyola will have a goal kick. Trying to hit Scott Bell there on the far post early. Couldn't get it to him, though. And Karpovich has set the kick. Good stuff there. Timmy Larkin here with a throw.
Scott backing off, opening space up in front for himself there. He's beaten that defender so easily.
Good
That's
ball.
a great play.
John Tuttle challenging and I couldn't quite get a foot on it. Scott Bell's such a dangerous player when he gets the ball down in the corners.
Bob having a little bit of a Sunday afternoon chat with the Loyola bench.
Some confusion there. Referee called for an injury. And William Peter tosses over to the far side to Marty Taylor. He's got some room ahead of him. And Loyola with a counterattack.
Darcy needs to be careful there. I think if he falls foul of Van der Walker again, he may end up sitting on the bench. You better be careful.
Kukulis asserting himself there in the back.
Bothered me a little bit there that Steve threw an elbow at that player, though. I don't think that was necessary. It's also risky in the penalty area.
Scott Bell there with 4 players on him, a bit too much to handle, but he gets a throw-in out of it, and Timmy Larkin will take it.
Scott's still got space to run into there.
Timmy uses him to his feet.
That's well played by Steve Sapinski. Try to find the space behind that last defender.
Just about 30 minutes remaining. No score here in the second half. Wayne Mary still up 3-1. Physical play has continued here. Some quick touches here on the near side by Wayman Mary. Marty Taylor doing a good job of getting that back to his defender.
Bruce coming in again on that. I think William and Mary are becoming what we used to be known as a second half team, but so far the 2 games that we've scored goals in, the goals have come in the first half, and just the way the game's going now, it could well be that this half will go by without any further goals. I think both teams have pretty much got the measure of each other now, and it might take an exceptional piece of play or a bad mistake at the back. But it's looking to be a pretty even contest right now. I'm glad that William and Mary got a 2-goal lead coming into it.
That's Sam Mangione with the ball. Good work on the ground there by John Tuttle.
Not really scrapping for that one. There was some good combination stuff there by Loyola.
That's Sam Mangione taking on Donnie DeShira. He'll take a shot, but that's way wide. William Mary coming out with a bit more pressure in the midfield.
We've got Bo and Donnie back in again now to add a little bit of strength there to keep that pressure up in the midfield area. I think it's worth mentioning today that the William & Mary women's soccer team will be at home this coming weekend in a tournament involving University of Virginia, Cincinnati, and last year's national champions, with games on Barksdale Field on this coming Saturday and Sunday.
William & Mary women's team beating GW yesterday 4-0, dominating that match.
Extra player getting forward there untracked. Steve was dealing with the pressure, but the extra player was too much. And there's a push in the back on Steve Kukulis, no question.
There's a foul there on Stan Koziel. As he hit Kukulis in the back there. Ian Peters choosing to punt a bit more here in the second half.
Steve in very hard on that challenge. Ricky, well, I think if Steve Koukoulis had let that one go, it was okay. It was on its way back to Ian.
That's Sam Mangione with the ball.
Another good tackle from Koukoulis.
Joe Koziel with the errant pass over the end line, and William Mary will have a goal kick.
I think there's a definite change in attitudes between the two teams. I expected Loyola to come out this half to be even more aggressive than they were in the first half, and so far William and Mary have had the edge and are pressurising much better than they did in the first 15-20 minutes. And Loyola haven't really stepped it up. I would have thought that with being 2 goals down, they might have been angry enough to come out and really want to play, but they haven't posed too many problems so far this half.
I think the William Mary backs need to keep their level of concentration up and not get lulled to sleep. Donnie DeShire will have a shot there, and that's wide.
Well, those kind of dropping balls there, they either end up where that one did, or they end up in the back of the net, and once in a while they're worth having a go at.
And John Karpovich is set to play.
That's a good touch from Donnie, setting up Bruce Ensley.
Bruce Ensley, he had a bit of time there.
Stankosi, you're finding a bit of space down the middle there. Loyola beginning to put things together a little bit better. That's a dangerous cross.
Shot there by Dave Garrity, and Ian Peter wraps it up.
Ricky DeHaan in a lot of space, and a nice little touch off to Bo SK back into Ricky, but a little bit too long for him.
Good anticipation there by Karpovich to steal that pass. And a crossing ball, but no one there.
That was a difficult ball for Donnie to deal with there. It was coming from almost from out of the sun. Things have really quietened down a bit. Probably that pace in the first half was pretty frenetic, and it's difficult to keep that kind of pace up for 90 minutes.
Loyola working up the near line here. Jeff Nadens, who's shown he has a dangerous throw, uses a short one here.
Although Bruce was a little bit lucky with that challenge. He didn't give away a
dangerous
penalty.
ball there.
Good job.
Stan Kozio with the ball, working on Summers' handbrake. Good defending there by Summers.
And just after Summers got that first touch on the ball, it was good play by Koziol, because he just got his body. It was touch and go whether it was obstruction, but he got his body in between Summers and the ball and just let the ball run out of play to win a throw-in, which Natans will take another short throw. There's a man open on the far post.
Notice John Tuttle's coming over and standing in front of those throws that perhaps distract him a bit. Marty Taylor looks up and plays down the line. That's Ricky DeHaan. That was a nice ball there.
Something might just get in on that. Donnie's got the interception there. I'd like to see Tut turn and have a go at this fella. Well, he was certainly banged about a bit then.
John Tuttle really hasn't had the chance to take a player on 1-for-1.
bit of petulance by the injured player there, Dave Garrity. Dave's shown a little bit of a competitive edge, shall we say, throughout the game.
Timmy Larkin comes back on for Bruce Ensley.
I was wondering if that was Bruce has been playing well. He had that great shot earlier, but just in the last 5 minutes he's been in areas around just outside the box where he hasn't made the tackles that really need to be made, and you know, I think Al spotted that and decided that he may need a breather.
Perhaps he is just a bit tired. It's a hot day today.
It certainly is.
Good tackle there by Marty Taylor. Loyola will have a throw in though.
Now 17, the centre-back has been showing for these pretty much since the start of the second half, and he's still in a lot of space now. And they're changing a little bit. William and Mary have got to think about coming out and pressurising him.
That was a good shot there, just over the bar.
I think Al would probably need to detail Scott Bell to, whenever there are throw-ins like that now, to just come back and mark the 17, unless he would prefer that they do that, which is certainly a possibility, because the throw-in is dangerous. And that, despite they've done it maybe 3 or 4 times, that's the first time they've really looked dangerous from that from the throw-in back to the number 17, who then serves it in. Ronnie Rabb back on up front.
And Darcy Curran back on in the midfield.
Summers taking a little bit of I think Summers a bit frustrated today, and he better watch out. He took a little bit of there's only a petty slap at the number 11 there, but if Vander Walker spots that, he's likely right now to want to make an example of someone. So I think Summers better beware.
Summers handbraking Chris Webber, the Loyola player.
Steve Sapinski attacked that ball really well then.
Loyola takes a quick short corner kick. William Mary doing a good job of defending on that. They were right on top of the quick kick.
Okay, looks like this one they are going to throw in.
And so Ronnie Rabb will come up to distract him. Donnie DeShara clearing away. William Mary needs to win these head balls in the box.
Danger.
Dangerous ball there. And Darcy Curran clears away. Loyola winning in there, though. Ronnie Rabb will bring it out. No, he won't.
Ronnie giving away a silly free kick there.
Loyola putting on a bit more pressure here late in the second half. With 17:40 remaining. And Darcy Curran called again for a foul from behind. A shot there, deflected though by a William Mary defender.
Steve Sapinski Steve Kukulis rather managed to get in the way of that one. That could have been a difficult shot for Ian. It was coming through a crowd of players, and had it got by Steve, it would have been a tough one.
Loyal's threatening. He's got Ronnie Rabb on the far side here.
Good switch on if he can get it.
Poor foul there from behind. He had Ronnie Rabb on this near side, but couldn't quite get it to him. Scott Bell will set the kick here with another set play.
Should serve this in and get the keeper off his line. He's coming. The keeper's judgment has been very questionable on air.
He has been shaking. And a foul called there on Darcy Curran again.
I think Darcy's he's a senior, and he knows Bob Vander Walker well enough to realise that he's the kind of player that you just have to swallow it. And I know what that's like from a coaching point of view. He can be very annoying with his authoritative manner, but he's the man in black, and he's the fellow who's got the whistle, and he's got a couple of cards in his pocket also. That's well fought. No.
That was a questionable foul there, as Scott Bell was called for tripping, and he's questioning it. And Sam Mangione plays in. Another dangerous ball. Loyola, here in the second half, able to get a lot of crossing balls into William Mary's box. And they've had some opportunities.
John Tuttle coming back in for Ronnie Rabb. Certainly the game has swung a bit. In the last 10 minutes or so, Loyola have had some half chances and some pretty a great deal of possession. I think William and Mary have got to start winning the ball back again now and try and hang on to it a bit, deny a bit of possession. Let's be a bit slow with our build-up and just deny them the ball, see if we can take the steam out of them at the moment.
Ian Peter will punt it again.
That's a good kick from Ian.
Ricky DeHaan taking control, uses Marty Taylor.
I think Ricky was trying to play that ball off the defender then. He was fairly close to him.
Girls Tribe Soccer won 4-0 over George Washington.
That's Stan Lambros, Loyola defender with a ball. He's got some time. And he plays a poor ball right to Darcy Curran. And William Mary counters quickly. John Tuttle on a run.
Player. That's a great run.
And here he comes. He's got the ball and he's dangerous.
John might have done better just try and find Scott Bell on the far post, although he may have looked Scott was free on the far post, but the nearest defender to him was the big number 20, Nathans, who is quite an obstacle if you want to serve a ball to the far post.
But William Mary comes out with a corner kick here. Knocks it right into the
goalkeeper again, unable to deal with it.
Goalkeeper appears to be a bit hesitant about whether he's going to come out or stay in. Summers Hambrick wisely using his goalkeeper. And that was good communication there from Ian Peter as he called for that ball. Another good kick there. Good pressure by Donnie DeShira.
And Ricky picking it up again in midfield, and that's a great ball. Just a little bit more power on that would have got John Tuttle free. And I think he spotted him. I'm not sure if he was looking for Scott Bell with that ball or John Tuttle running in behind him.
Appears Ricky DeHaan has had quite a bit of space here in the second half to turn with the ball and look forward.
Yeah, and he has such great vision. That's good pressure there by Donnie, but Loyola still keeping possession.
Good tackle by Timmy Larkin.
Now, if Scott can switch,
just off his thigh there.
Yeah. It's unusual that Scott Bell's first touch lets him down, but had he been able to get a good touch on that and a quick switch, John Tuttle was in a lot of space. Ricky's in a lot of space here. We could get a good attack going now.
And a nice ball there out to Marty Taylor, who was on a good run. Not quite enough on that cross. Looking for Scott Bell. We
have about just over 10 minutes left to play, Tom, and The second half has been nowhere near as exciting as the first half, but it's been kind of enthralling.
I think you made a good point earlier that both teams sort of know the other team pretty well at this point, and it's sort of hard to get anything on them.
Right, yeah. I think it's really, as the game wears on, you know what each other has got to offer, and you're looking more for where are there going to be mental mistakes, who's gonna make an error, and who's going to come up with that little good move, that little one-against-one move that will take an opponent out of the game.
Darcy Kern plays into Scott Bell's feet, does a good job of coming back for that ball.
Scott received that really beautifully under pressure there. And gets a free kick. He was being held. For a minute there, I thought the free kick was going to go the other way.
I did too. But number 5, Stan Lambros, was caught for the foul holding on to Scott Bell. Sapinski will take the kick for William & Mary. Just about 10 minutes remaining. William & Mary still in the lead, 3-1. A scoreless second half.
That was nearly a very good kick. He was just looking for that space in front of John Tuttle for John to get in and flick it on.
William & Mary called for a foul there, so Loyola will get the free kick. And Kukulis clears that one away.
Come next weekend as Tribe Soccer takes on Navy at 2 p.m. Sunday.
Loyola set to throw in here. It looks like they're going to use another long one. And that's over the post. So William & Mary will have a goal kick. Ian Peter brings it out. He uses his back, Marty Taylor. Notice Ian Peter's been doing quite a bit more punting here in the second half.
He's been causing... That was a little bit unfortunate. Scott was just trying to get underneath the ball there.
Stan Lambros with the ball for Loyola. Takes it all the way down the line.
Timmy Larkin coming in and doing a good job there, giving the extra coverage.
Helping out Summers Hamburg on this right side.
Now this must be a difficult one for defenders and attackers alike, because the sun is almost behind the thrower here.
He'll be looking for a... Oh, good header there by Ricky DeHaan.
And Ricky can...
Looks like he caught one in the knees there.
That's a good cross.
Could have been a high kick call there in the box against Loyola.
I think Ricky might have got a bruised instep on that clearance. The player left his leg dangling in there, and Ricky might have caught the underside of his foot.
Loyola with the throw on the far side. And with just about 7 minutes remaining, I got to think Loyola needs to get a goal here. It's Joe Cozio with the ball.
That was a great
Marty
job
Taylor.
by
Good,
Marty
good
Taylor.
timing there.
Steve Kukulis there as a spare player could have got over and put a bit more pressure on there. I think he stayed a bit too far away from that player once Marty had gone out to pressurise the clearance.
I think the William & Mary back's doing a good job of hard tackling in the box. Little flick on there from Scott Bell, but no one running on.
I think Ian just needs to hang on to that ball a little bit longer if he's going to kick that long, and let players push forward, let Ricky in particular push forward a bit.
Joe Kozia with the ball. He's got some quick moves. Good defending by Sapinski, though.
Very good. And he took a little bit of a dig afterwards. Steve looks to be hobbling a little bit. I think he got a bang then.
Looks like he's favoring that right knee, maybe.
Yeah.
He did suffer an injury in the University of Connecticut game, and it might be hurting him right now. Good stuff.
Steve Kukulis getting that ball away. Those, whenever the ball comes across the goal mouth like that, you have to, your heart's always in your mouth because it only takes a touch to put it in the net.
Loyola threatened here late in the second half. Trying to get a goal to put him back in this game. And they do. Loyola scoring a goal here with 5:17 remaining in the game. Puts it 3-2, William & Mary in the lead. I believe that was Joe Kozia with the goal there.
He did really well. When the ball came through, he actually flicked it to change his angle and then put it away well. Those long throws are difficult to contend with because, you know, you have to get back in your goal area wherever forwards go because you obviously can't be offside. And there's a basic philosophy that I suppose if you serve the ball in there enough times, you're going to create chances, and that's just about what happened.
Loyola has had quite a few long throw-ins, and that one was successful.
William & Mary really need to start thinking now. There are only about 3 or 4 minutes left. I know we do work on defending a 1-goal lead late in the game and the kind of things you need to do to run the clock down. You have to be careful, especially with a referee like Bob Vanderwalker, because if he thinks that you're just wasting time, he'll pull you up for it.
Loyola attacking quickly.
Again, Summers getting caught a little bit too close to his man there. He needs to allow a bit more. Let him have the ball to feet and then pressurize him, but don't let him have that space in behind. The result now, they've conceded another throw from exactly the same position as the goal just came from.
Jeff Nate with the throw. Again, another dangerous one.
Headed off the line by Steve Kukulis.
And that's in the goal to tie it up, 3-3. Loyola again off the long throw and with the goal. Similar type of play there to tie it up with 4:24 remaining.
I think we look to our seniors to really pick things up. Now, Scott has got to take on a captain's role and get everyone together and get their heads up and say, well, okay, if they can get 2 goals inside a minute, then we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left and we can do the same thing.
And Scott Bell does call his team in, have a chat, get them reorganized.
I think Doug Anakin is going to come back in for Steve Sapinski. Steve was struggling a little bit there. Or is it? No, Darcy Curran's going out.
Play is underway. Summers Hambrick with the ball. Plays into Timmy Larkin. Timmy, an offensive-minded midfielder, loses that ball, though.
I think Timmy was going at the wrong space then. He should have been thinking more in terms of trying to get in the space outside rather than running where there was a crowd of players. This is dangerous.
Well, still putting quite a bit of pressure on. That was Sam Mangione making a run there, the dangerous ball in the box.
We certainly have to give Loyola credit for staying in there, and we know this about them. They're the kind of team that they'll fight until the final whistle. In fact, one memorable game here a few years ago, we were 3-1 up. It was very similar to this. We were 3-1 up, and we ended up being tied in regulation with 2 players sent off, and ended up winning it 4-3. But they showed then, as they've shown today, that you can't write them off. They'll keep going.
Sean Karpovitz set to kick on the far side. Ian Peter coming out to challenge, and he was lucky to get that one back in his hands.
Ian needs to show more composure there. He just gave the ball away, and that's what we really need now. Oh, well, the time has run out, so it wasn't that important. No, he stopped his watch. Oh, okay, there was a ball boy, perhaps just waiting for a ball to come back, and the referee has decided that he wants to give Loyola a chance to get the ball in play and go for a winner. I was saying I think Ian should have held on to that ball a little bit longer there. At this stage, you know, be very careful with your distribution and putting it back in.
Vanderwalker again calling a foul there. He's used his whistle quite a bit today.
Yeah, a bit too much, I think.
And Loyola again will have another free kick. And these here are also dangerous. A low ball in there.
Well, that was a rebound off of Doug Anakin, and the ball's went out for a corner.
Stan Koziel for Loyola will take the kick. Dangerous thing there. And it's over the end line, and that will be a goal kick for William and Mary. Just around 2 minutes remaining. Score tied up 3-3. As Loyola came back from a 3-1 deficit here in the second half to tie it up.
Ricky's pushed forward a little bit more on this, maybe about the area that Ian's going to serve the ball. But it's just a bit short for Bruce Ensley.
Steve Sapinski with a fine tackle there, and that'll be a corner kick, though, for Loyola. Substitution coming on for Loyola. Dave Garrity goes off the field.
It's always very difficult to handle a team that pulls back 2 quick goals in late stages. They're really fired up. There's an open man there on the near post. If he'd made contact with that, I know Al will be very angry at him getting in there untracked. You know, all he had to do there was really make contact, and he'd probably put the ball in. I think fatigue is definitely a factor in here. I think players see what needs to be done, but you know, it's been very hard. It's been a tough physical game, and everyone's struggling a little bit to execute and do the job that they should do. But Loyola still look to be quite strong.
That's Scott Bell with the ball in the corner. 3 men on him. Plays back to his midfielder, Timmy Larkin. Kukulis with a just almost hitting John Tuttle there. That's Koziel with the ball. A dangerous player.
Ian, I think, could have got over there. He's been a little bit, I won't say complacent, but I think that one he should have come for a little bit quicker. He might have had more time to handle that ball. He ended up having to snatch it and nearly got it kicked out of his hands.
And that's the end of regulation play here, as Loyola has tied this game up 3-3. We will go into an overtime period. John, how hard is it going to be here for William Mary? Has lost the momentum, I think. Loyola coming and scoring 2 goals. What is Coach?
Long throw, but it really is. It's just a phenomenon that you serve the ball in enough times like that you're going to get chances. You want some?
On Wednesday, September 10th, the Tribe travels to East Carolina and returns home.
Bob's getting anxious. He wants to go home.
For those of you just joining us, regulation play has ended. We're about to begin one of 2 overtime periods. It'll be 10 minutes each. Regulation score was 3-3. Loyola coming back from a 3-1 deficit. And they kick off with Loyola having the ball. John, Loyola had the momentum going there in the end of the second half. Perhaps maybe a break here between the regulation and overtime period will allow William & Mary to get back in this game.
Yeah, I'm sure Al will have let his feelings be known there in that short break. But he will have felt that our concentration let us down, and you know, we should be prepared for the set pieces. I know that, as I mentioned to you earlier, Tom, the number of times the ball goes in there, if you put it in there enough time, then you're going to cause mistakes and cause pressure, and that's what happened. But you still expect your team to handle it. We know what's coming. We're in there, and both times players were left unmarked who were able to stick the ball in.
That's Ricky DeHaan heading on to John Tuttle. He's been sort of quiet this game.
Yeah, he has. Tut's been suffering a bit this week, and he hasn't been himself, but he's the kind of player.
A little mix-up there in the middle of the field. It's Bo Eske and Dave Garrity.
Interesting there. Marty Taylor going in to lay down the law, and Marty's the kind of player that you don't want to upset.
Summers Hambrick takes the kick.
Keeper's
the dangerous
coming
ball.
badly.
Oh, just wide there as Ricky DeHaan again got up for another header.
This keeper is very, very weak. You know, we've really, every opportunity, we've got to think in terms of, you don't want anything pretty, let's put the ball in there and get that keeper off the line, because his judgment is atrocious. He was doing a Schumacher there in the World Cup. He was so far away from that. It was ridiculous.
And Karpovich get set to kick. And he played a poor ball there. Bo Eske picks up on it.
That's a nice turn. And the chip.
Oh, that was a good shot there. He saw the goalkeeper off his line and tried to float it over top of him. Good effort there by William & Mary, and it seems they have picked up a bit more momentum here at the beginning of this overtime period.
That's it. That got the crowd back in it. Got them a little bit excited there. Loyola taking their time putting this ball back in play. Marty Taylor, what a great jump.
Strong header. Oh, and again, but a bit too much there, but a good effort from Marty Taylor.
The player he was marking there did really well. Oh, that's another good tackle from Steve Koukoulis. The player, he ended up going underneath Marty, drawing the foul, and when Marty was still on the ground disgusted at what was going on, he just took off upfield.
And there was another foul from Jeff Natans on Scott Bell. We've seen that all day. And Coach Albert will have a few words to say to the referee about that.
I think Al has got every reason to be upset at that. Those kind of tackles they're indefensible. You know, the player going in knows what he's doing. And we expect referees to protect players like Scott Bell. They're the players that people want to come and see. And to see them getting kicked around like that, I think is disgusting.
And just the fact that he's been doing it all day, too.
Right.
Marty Taylor having a good overtime period here, asserting himself. Karpovich clears up here to number 11, Chris Weber with the ball. Defended there by Summers Hambrick. And that went out of bounds. And so Donnie DeShire will take the throw-in. Referee calls time. Some mix-up with the balls here.
That's a good throw from Donnie. I think Marty Taylor was showing in there, and then he stopped.
That was a handball there called against Marty have a free kick here. A dangerous flick there.
Ian did well there.
That was a good save there. Ian Peter got the ball up high. It's Bo Esque for William Mary challenging on the far side, and he wins it. Ronnie Rabb taken down from behind. I think fouls like that are even more dangerous, especially late in the game. Players fatigue and things, much easier to get injury.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see the stats for the game and see how many fouls there have been. It's getting up there. Now that's a good free kick.
That's a good ball there. Scott fell challenging there and got a bear hug from goalie Bill Wilson.
I wouldn't be surprised, Tom, if that's the first ball he's caught all day.
And he had to catch the player with it.
Well, Scott Bell's head and the ball looked pretty much the same, so, you know, we could excuse him that.
Again, Ricky DeHaan challenging in the air.
Ricky fell awkwardly there. He's taking his time getting up, and he looks okay.
Good tackle by Kakulis.
That was Steve Sapinski.
Oh, Sapinski.
Yeah. Player gone down with cramp.
See a lot of those in overtime periods, legs cramping up.
No, I would expect everyone to be marked up on this one. They should have learned the lesson from those 2 goals. It's really a case of if you don't win the first touch, just make sure you win the second one. Oh,
and there's another one. Again off the throw and into the box. And Loyola has gone up 4-3 here in the overtime period. That's 3 goals now Loyola scored off a set-piece throw-in. And Coach Albert will use some substitutions here.
Well, that time it wasn't a case of winning the second touch, it was a case of winning the first touch.
And that was a strong header by Loyola in the far corner. Really no chance for Ian Peter to get his hands on that one. Coach Albert put in some fresh legs there in the midfield. Darcy Kern, Bruce Ensley, and Timmy Larkin try and get something started. That's Dave Garrity and Steve Kakulis going at it there on the far side.
I think that kind of underlines, really, that goal coming just what the game's all about, because William and Mary have looked a little bit better in the overtime period, and then they find themselves a goal down. And in the first half, I thought Loyola probably looked better, and they found themselves 2 goals down. Well, we've got to get this ball away. Again, the touch, the first touch.
Darcy Kern hustling on the far side, but Loyola again with another dangerous throw here. Now, why isn't a player positioned on these?
I really don't think a player does any good there.
Okay.
You know, the throw is from at least a yard back from the line, and you're not allowed to jump anyway.
Loyola winning most of the tackles here.
Scott gave away a needless free kick there. I'm sure he's frustrated. He hasn't had the greatest of games. He's had his great little turns, but I know Scott, he loves to score goals, and he hasn't got one yet. And I'd like to see him before the end of this game break the record.
Loyola with a short kick.
No, that has to be a trip. Yeah.
Sapinski doing a good job of defending there. Draws the foul. William Mary will have a free kick. Just about a minute remaining here in the first overtime period. Loyola's gone up 4-3. Bruce Ensley winning that ball in the midfield. And he'll take the throw-in on the far side. William Mary trying to push the ball up and get a goal here before the first overtime period's over.
The poor ball boy over there has been having, he's had to do a lot of work today.
Steve Kukulis comes up from his sweeper position to take this throw.
Steve has got a pretty, he's got a longer throw than Ronnie Rabb, but he hasn't really used it so far today. I think he's got a breeze behind him also. Now that should be a yellow card. That should be, oh no. He stopped him, but that turned out to be a very good serve, and I would have hated to see that ball go in the net. I think the defender stopped before Ricky headed it. But that player cannot jump in front of the ball.
And so Kukulis will take the throw in again.
It's a pity because the surprise element is out of it now.
Exactly.
That's a great throw. Wow, 2 catches out of 50, that's not bad.
Bill Wilson, the goalkeeper for Loyola, wraps that one up.
Actually, you've got to commend him really getting, when it's got into the crutch period, he's come up with the good handles.
John Tuttle working here on the near line. He'll take the throw in.
I would look to Steve Sapinski again, to Steve Kukulis again on this one. Now,
that was nobody there running through. There was some hard hitting there. Kukulis lets that one run out, and he'll take the throw in, using his goalkeeper, Ian Peter. And that is the end of the first overtime period. They'll switch ends and do it again for 10 minutes. William & Mary finding themselves down 4-3. John, I think William & Mary needs to regroup here, get into a huddle.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to have been up throughout the game and then get into overtime and fall behind. Conceding late goals like they did, and then to get into overtime and dictate the first few minutes of play, get a couple of half chances, and then end up giving up another goal to a set piece. But you've got to take the view that, well, there are 10 more minutes left, and let's see if we can create some problems for the Loyola defense.
And I think to William & Mary's advantage, they do have players that proven they can score goals and that you can rely on to go to in these situations with Scott Bell, John Tuttle, and even Ronnie Rabb. And I think we'll be looking for them here. Players coming off the field now.
I think the scoreboard has malfunctioned. And what difference that should make when the referee's keeping the official time on the field, I don't know. I think he's telling everyone he's got it on the field now.
I think, too, the fact that John Tuttle is hurting today has hurt William & Mary a bit up front.
What is a real, certainly a factor here, looking at the Loyola defense, they are big, strong players. They're not slow. You know, if you get big, strong players and they're not very quick, then you can cash in on it. But they have good quickness, and we haven't had the strength really to break them down up front. We did early on, as we know, but certainly as the game wore on, they've looked more and more commanding at the back.
Second overtime period just about to get underway here. William & Mary kicking off. Summers Hambrick playing into Timmy Larkin. Trying to hit Scott Bell there, but not enough on it. I don't think Timmy saw that defender there.
Again, on this one, I would look to... Ronnie throws the ball in well, but Steve has shown that he could put the ball in right in under the bar.
Not sure why Steve Kukulis didn't come in for that throw-in.
Now we're open to the break. It's 3 against 2.
Loyola on a
Timmy's
break
gotta keep
here.
going. Just as well it was a bad ball there, because once Steve Kukulis had gone forward to try and win that ball, once he didn't win it, that left us a bit exposed at the back.
That was Stan Koziel and his brother Joe Koziel on the break there. Ian Peter punting away. I think perhaps Ian is going to be punting from now on the rest of this overtime period.
I would think so. We've really got to get the ball forward and say try and get it in there, win the touches, or if not win the first touches, win the second touches. Ricky DeHaan was fouled there, but I think that was a good advantage call.
This Tuttle showing a bit of his stuff. Timmy Larkin.
Oh, Timmy was winding up. He's much too far out there.
Timmy a bit mad at himself there on that one.
Loyola breaking well. They got an extra player on the far post. Timmy's not going to get there. That's a good ball.
That's Cozy out with the shot. Save. But that one's in the back of the net, and it's 5-3 Loyola. Ian Peter making the initial save, but off the rebound. Stan Cozy, I'll put it right back in the net. With 8:10 remaining in the second overtime period. William & Mary, after early in the game being up 3-1, has found themselves down 5-3.
Well, that really was the classic counter-attack, and got to give Loyola full credit. He was a long way back when they broke on the right, but he made a very strong run. The ball that was played into him was a superb one. He probably should have finished it with his first touch, but he'll settle for the second one.
Loyola has been showing some good counter-attacking here all game, and that's the first time they've cashed in on it. William & Mary trying to bounce back. Ronnie Rabb playing crossfield to Ricky DeHaan. Touches into Scott Bell. He has a shot, but to no avail, as Loyola clears it away.
And again, they're breaking out well. Steve needs to win that.
And here we go again. Loyola on another counterattack.
3 against 2 this time.
That's Chris Wiebert with the ball deep in William & Mary's end with a nice shot, but just over the post. Doug Anakin will come on for William & Mary to replace Steve Sapinski. Good play there by Ensley to let Timmy Larkin have that one.
Timmy's made a couple of bad decisions right now. I think that one Scott was showing for the ball there. Knocking the high ball in towards the central defenders isn't going to produce much. Knocking it in at the back earlier on was producing problems for the goalkeeper when he came, but anything short of him, those two big fellas at the back seem to be able to gobble it up.
Perhaps also Timmy needs to go ahead and push it forward himself. He's got some quickness and some good moves.
Yeah, it could be really a case now of players getting tired, and instead of thinking in terms, well, I've got to work a little bit more, you know, your body's beginning to ache a bit, and you think, well, I'll just serve this one in and maybe cause some trouble.
And Kukulis was pushed from behind there when that one went out of bounds. Ian Peters set the kick. Timmy Larkin winning that one well in the air. Joe Koziel doing a good job of winning that ball from William & Mary and eating off some time on the clock.
I think Loyola have shown today that they're certainly going to be a team to be reckoned with in the region. You know, they're very big, they're very strong, they have overall good team speed, they have a couple of very good players there. Koziel, both the Koziels are good. And any team to come here and give up a 2-goal lead and come back, score 4 goals against us, having been down, you know, they've got to be good.
Oh, he's holding on to his jersey there.
That's interesting. That was on the blind side.
Yeah.
That's another foul on Scott Bell.
Scott Bell taken down again by number 20, Jeff Natons.
I'm sure number 20 is going to feel he's done a worthwhile job. He's hit Scott Bell quite a few times. He's drawn a yellow card for it, which is no big deal. And Scott Bell hasn't scored.
And Summers Hambrick plays in a dangerous ball. That's Kukulis, who serves it right back in. I've noticed Wayne Murray backs have tried to float in some long balls into Scott Bell, and with the tall defenders, they just haven't been able to get over their heads.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to win them in there. I think Ricky poses the only threat, and then it needs a certain kind of ball coming in for Ricky to use. A ball served him fairly flat in front of him, but when they're hanging up there in the air like that, you know, even a great jumper like Ricky DeHaan is going to have a tough time winning it.
Wayne Murray will have a free kick here, an opportunity to cut the lead. Again, Bill Wilson having problems handling that ball. That's Kukulis with the ball. Back to Guido.
See, the pressurizing Loyola's still doing. They're still working very, very hard. They're not giving us any chance to get a controlled kind of build-up.
I'm impressed with Loyola's level of fitness, too, here. They've not stopped at all.
Right.
Just about 3 minutes remaining here in the last overtime period. William Mary down 2 goals, 5-3.